In this aspect in particular, Saturn square Neptune has a tremendous influence over Y2K. And it's perfect on 6 days later.
So move to 6 days later.
We gaan praten met Dusty Parks. Iemand die een heel inzichtelijk systeem heeft voor astrologie. Een computerastroloog dus. Dat gesprek vond plaats in Californië. En u kunt Dusty Parks vinden op het internet op Awarenet. Om te beginnen lopen wij op zijn computer even het hele jaar 1999 door. U ziet hier 31 januari met de stand van de planeten. Die zijn op een bepaalde manier aangegeven en door de lijnen ertussen kan je zien of het woord een oppositie of een conjunctie is. Of een driehoek of een vierkant. Allemaal astrologische termen die aangeven wat voor invloed die planeten dan hebben. Nou, dit is een dynamisch astrologiesysteem. Dat wil zeggen dat je kunt zien hoe de veranderingen plaatsvinden. Om het wat eenvoudiger te maken, ziet u links een aantal gegevens in een staafgrafiekje. Die geven aan hoe belangrijk de invloeden zijn. Het meest rechtse balkje is bijvoorbeeld geld, groen. Maar daar komen we later op terug. U ziet nu even hoe het jaar 1999 zich afspeelt. Het is een Amerikaanse notering, dus de 4e maand, de 5e maand nu, mei dus. U ziet, de maan loopt 1 keer per 29 dagen rond. De andere planeten wat langzamer. En u ziet steeds allerlei lijnen op het moment dat bijvoorbeeld de maan ten opzichte van een bepaalde planeet op of een bepaald huis een bepaald aspect heeft. We zijn aangeland in augustus. Dit systeem heet de time capsule. Het is een ontwikkeling van Dusty Parks die dat op deze manier duidelijk maakt. Hij geeft mensen dus niet alleen een geschreven horoscoop, maar aan de hand van dit dynamische beeld kunnen ze zelf kijken hoe iedere dag de sterren voor hen staan. Daar kun je dan weer allerlei betekenis aan hechten, maar het aardige is dat je dus als het ware zelf kunt zien hoe de verhoudingen zijn. En u ziet, aan het eind van het jaar 99 komen nogal wat planeten bij elkaar. En op, u zag het 1 januari 2000, is het overigens geen heel bijzondere situatie. Die situatie vindt wel wat later plaats, in mei bijvoorbeeld. In mei van het jaar 2000 is een heel belangrijke dag, weer volgens de astrologen. Ook dit jaar zijn er een aantal data, maar daar komen we later op terug, die van groot belang zijn. Goedendag, mijn naam is Luc Sala en we zijn vandaag op bezoek bij Dusty Parks in Mill Valley. Dat is in Californië, in de buurt van San Francisco. Dusty Parks is astroloog. Maar de manier waarop hij zijn astrologische voorspellingen naar buiten brengt is heel bijzonder. Hij gebruikt namelijk een computer waarin hij de astrologische gegevens, dus de stand van de planeten, visualiseert op een heel bijzondere manier. En dat doet hij op zo'n manier dat je de beweging van de planeten door de tijd heen kunt waarnemen. En hij geeft dat aan zijn cliënten in de vorm van een videotape. Hij noemt zo'n videotape een digital time capsule. Het is een systeem wat gebaseerd is op de juiste standen van de planeten, de juiste afstanden van de planeten. En het is dus een soort representatie waarmee je in een dynamische vorm kunt zien hoe de sterren staan. Je hoeft dus niet afhankelijk te zijn van zeg maar, de voorspellingen zoals die traditioneel gedaan worden op papier, van wat de doorgangen zijn en de opposities. Maar je kunt werkelijk kijken hoe het beweegt, hoe de sterren bewegen in de tijd. We gaan met Dusty praten over wat er voor iedereen in het komende jaar gaat gebeuren. We gaan hem iets vragen over het jaar 2000 en over belangrijke momenten in de komende jaren en over zijn systeem. En we doen dat in het Engels, want we zitten hier in Amerika. Astrology, the art of looking in the past and in the future, depending on the stars. Do you see yourself as an astrologer or as a computer person?
Well, I got into computers to do astrology, to animate and see the motions of the cycles in a way that was like a map, so that there was something to go by rather than just an abstract vision.
In the old days, people that did astrology had to work with long tables and a lot of mathematics and have to work out all degrees and whatever all the time. Now that work is done by the computer.
Yes, it's been done by the computer, for a good 20 years now. But at the same time, all the computer programs made for astrology only show you one day at a time, or one moment in time at a time, and then you have to laboriously go back in and tell it what other moment you want to look at.
And your system is, in fact, a dynamic representation of how the stars move.
Yes, we actually animate it and generate each successive moment instantly, so you can fly through time at any rate you wish, and literally just go through and see how the flow of energy looks as a flow rather than just a static moment.
In the image that you generate, not only do you see the stars and the planets around it, but you have an indication on the left side where you have red, blue, purple, green, and whatever.
Pink, right.
And pink.
The idea is that in astrology, what you're actually measuring is the geometrical relationships of the planets relative to a position on Earth. Those geometrical relationships, called aspects, are the energy being generated and measured by astrology. What our bar graphs show is the cumulative total of 5 different categories of astrological energy that are constantly writing and showing you how the energy breaks down in volume at any given moment. So at a certain moment, the red bar may be very high and the green bar may be very low, saying, well, this is action energy, but it's not for business. It may be for relationships.
Okay, just give me the idea. And then red is action?
Action and forced action. The blue bar is harmony, fluency, and communication. The purple bar is spiritual, fate, and destiny. The pink bar is love and relationships. And the green bar is career and money.
Because in America, of course, the greenback stands for the dollar. In Holland, we would say that's for nature, but
That's
that
right.
isn't.
That's right, yeah, we're in America. So.
In America, that's very clear. Nou, we gaan eens kijken naar het jaar 1998, 99. Dat loopt hier nu op de computer. En in dat jaar zijn er een aantal belangrijke. We beginnen op 1 januari 99, dat hebben we al gehad. How did it look on the 1st of January?
Well, we want to... Okay, part of the description of the 1st of January is a great sense of idealism, because Venus and Neptune were lining up together, which is like a vision of positive energy. So there's a lot of positive projection collectively for 1999.
Okay.
That's one aspect of it.
Yeah, I see the green. I mean, I'm not an astrologist, but I look at the green, which is the money thing. That is as high as the red one. But
well, keep in mind that with respect to time and astrology, the agreement pretty much goes down that each locality is going to have a slightly different orientation on how the chart plays out for that place. So Amsterdam is going to have a different chart than Paris. Paris is going to have a different chart than London. London's going to have a different chart than New York for the new year, because they're all set to their moment in time. And as we know, each of these locations is having the exact stroke of midnight occur in physical time at a different time, because they're at a farther point around the globe.
Yet you could say that the first few weeks of the year 1999, at least in the stock market, were rather positive. So let's roll through time a little bit.
Okay.
Here on the 16th, 17th, we see that the green is still going a little bit higher, but there is lots of love too there.
Yeah. Well, we know that the stock market hit huge highs during the first week of January, breaking all records, at least in America. And what we have is the market itself has got a very strong influence from Jupiter, and Jupiter, this planet, is getting aspected, building up an aspect with Sun, which is a very positive aspect. It it's communication of positivity, communication of optimism, communication of expansion. This has been building up during this period of time, the first week of January. Now it's going to continue to do so. In fact, even on the 12th, it looks amazingly good.
Well,
which is today, isn't it?
Well, it's today. Well, yesterday the stock market went up again, so we'll see when it comes out.
Right.
But do you think this positive attitude versus business and the stock market will go on, or do you see somewhere in the near future that there's a change?
Well, let's just go on here. I'll show you a couple of interesting dates relative to that, as well as whether it affects the market. Here comes the next full moon.
That's at the end of the month.
At the end of the month. It's on the
31st
of 99. Even though the market, in my opinion, is still going to have a lot of steam building up to the beginning of April, this is a day where sudden reversals could be found nonetheless, but it's got positive energy. Now, when people are in the market and it gets really high, we typically have a phenomenon of profit taking. Well, this could be a day of profit taking on the 31st. But it's still very positive. It's not this, and the 31st is on the Sunday, so we don't even have the market actually in play on that day. The last day is either the 29th or the 1st of February.
Okay, let's roll on in time. This is February, things happening.
Now here we have Jupiter just entered Aries for the first time in 12 years, and Venus, the planet of money, is lined up with Jupiter, the planet of abundance, and they're both sextiling Neptune. This is a fantastic day for the stock market. This is
talking 24th of February, 1999.
February, and we should just make sure that's not on a weekend again, and it happens to be a Wednesday, so we're in good shape. This is a day that's particularly well suited for artistic expression and art of all kinds, and
so that's a good looking day in the 24th of February for if you want to play the stock market.
Yeah, and especially for all creative endeavors as well. It's certainly not relegated to just market playing. It's also a day where Mars is squaring Uranus. This is something that is creating tension and unexpected reactions with electrical devices and mechanical devices. So there's a
don't get near your outlets on that day. Watch out with electricity on the 24th of February.
Okay, so we're going to fly on. And as just a few days earlier on the 24th, it was Venus lined up with Jupiter. Now on the 10th of March, it is Mercury lined up with Jupiter, creating still the same kind of positive energy, but instead of with money, with communication in general. And they're also sextiling Neptune, which is creating a quality of... This is actually a day where hidden information can be coming to light of some kind. As we know, there's many sorts of
hidden information. Let's take a few. People are always saying the UFO information is held back by the governments. There are actually aliens out there. That's one kind of. The other kind could be that the information about the millennium bug comes out on that date.
Exactly.
So the 10th of March might be a day that the government announces, well, guys, it's more negative or more positive than we thought.
Well, less so than the officials coming out and releasing it. This is more the kind of thing where private individuals release it.
In newspapers, or someone could come out with it.
Yes, particularly on the net. And again, we still have in play Mars square Uranus, and Mars square Uranus is energy that's classically associated with challenging authority, challenging the status quo, and as long as that willful energy is trying to make things more equal or redress the balance of the over control of information that the large structures of government and business have on it, individuals like
it's a bit time for revolution.
Y2K project leaders leaking information about the true status of their projects to the internet press. Mm-hmm. This is that kind of thing.
Okay, 10th of March.
Now this is a big day.
Towards the end of March, we get a big day. Why do we get a big day then?
Well, this is
31st of March.
this is a really fantastic day. This is one time every year the sun lines up at the same position with Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is the positive planet of expansion, transmission, abundance, and you know, a lot of commentary has been made for the last 6 years at least about how can the market keep on doing what it's doing. You know, when is it going to run out of steam? When is people going to get a sense of proportion and reality? Because the price to earnings ratio of most companies on the market is just exorbitantly high.
It's a bit of a crazy situation.
That's right, and they haven't seen anything like it. They can't really account for it. But this is that kind of blind enthusiasm that goes on. So I personally expect that come the end of March, particularly around the 31st, that we're going to see a somewhat of a plateau reached with the market.
So it's peaking out towards that. So if you want to sell, you have to sell around or before this.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to actually fall here, but I am expecting it to peak around this time. Another reason for that is that Pluto rules other people's money. Well, how was the market played with pension funds and investment funds? All these sorts of things are financial tools that represent the collective wealth of many individuals whose decisions are made by these investment funds and retirement funds, and they're placing the money in the market. But it really comes across as other people's money. So Pluto has a tremendous influence over the market by virtue of that alone. And this is in great harmony. Sun conjunct Jupiter trine Pluto, which is great harmony. And as such,
so it's a good day, but you say the end is near. So roll it on a few days. What's going to happen then?
Here,
to
on
April,
the 28th, we have a situation where everything gets very conservative indeed. In fact, the same way that Jupiter rules expansion and positivity, Saturn rules pessimism, conservatism, limitation. And the Sun lines up with Saturn in Taurus, which rules the market itself. It rules ownership and the market by virtue of people buying stocks and the values placed on those stocks. Taurus rules value and ownership. Mars, the planet of selfishness, is opposing Saturn and the Sun at the same time. And the problem with Mars opposed Saturn and the Mars opposed Sun is it creates a relationship of I need to take action for my best interests, but in a selfish way. And it's also in the sign Scorpio. Well, Scorpio is the sign of the bear, a bear market, and Taurus is the sign of the bull. But this is the first opposition of Mars and Saturn since Saturn
so
has
you see, this might be the beginning of the market sliding off, turning from a bull market into a bear market.
And not only that, both of these planetary pairs, here we have Saturn and the Sun squaring Neptune and Mars squaring Neptune. Neptune rules the large-scale emotional feeling of things, the collective feeling of things. So it rules extreme visionary optimism or complete disillusionment. And this is the absolute picture of disillusionment.
Okay.
Disillusionment.
We're gonna have some bad news then on the 28th of April.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go on.
Well,
we're moving on till the
this is a quite interesting one too.
Time frame of the 26th of May.
Yes. We have the Sun lined up with Mercury, trining Neptune, which is positive feelings. Again, this has got a lot to do. Again, everything with Neptune can either be something visionary in a positive sense or disillusionment. You know, it's extreme one way or the other, no middle of the road. But Neptune also rules that hidden aspect of things. So here it is, the Sun and Gemini and the Sun and Mercury in Gemini, which rules all sorts of information. So again, this is a window of the release of hidden information. Information that somebody, the government or some company or some private individual, wishes was not made public, but is being made public by somebody who feels that it's in the better interest of the whole to know about this.
So 26th of May is a day to watch the internet or the newspapers and expect some unexpected news.
There's big headlines. Mars, Moon opposing Jupiter. This is When Mars opposes Jupiter, you typically have big headlines of some sort or another. Also, the Sun Mercury is opposing Pluto, which is again a very secretive planet. At one point in 1986, when the Sun opposed Pluto, the exact day of it was Chernobyl. And so the Sun opposed Pluto has a lot to do with extreme actions, extreme emergencies, extreme reactions. So this is a day, again, I don't feel this is a good day for the market, but because it's extreme, it's either going to be, and I'm not sitting on the fence post so much, I'm just saying it's going to be extreme. It's either going to be a tremendous rally back, or it's going to be another deep slump.
Action day there.
Yes, very much.
Okay, we go on. So what we see here is, in fact, so we see the star, the system rolling on through time. For every date, there's of course a fixed set of star situation, of planets, excuse me, and that constellation by Dusty Parks is made as a visual development, so you can see what's happening, how the planets move overhead, and the sun and the moon play their part. Ja, dat is het voorlopig even wat betreft Dusty Parks. We komen nog wel eens terug op zijn voorspellingen voor de rest van het jaar. Ondertussen kunt u even zien hoe dat doorloopt. Zijn systeem werkt dus met het zichtbaar maken van de planeetstanden.